Rise up. Hello, everyone. Happy Thursday. Happy Friday Eve. I'm Coy Wire. This is CNN 10, your 10 minutes of news for October 16th. This is also an important anniversary of a movement that shaped the future of civil rights in America. On this day in history, 30 years ago, hundreds of thousands of African American men gathered in Washington, D.C. for the Million Man March. Martin Luther King III, son of Martin Luther King Jr., stood on the National Mall where his father once delivered his iconic "I Have a Dream" speech. MLK's movement aimed to end racial segregation in the 1960s. The Million Man March in 1995 aimed to promote unity, self-improvement, and responsibility among black men at a time when many of them felt marginalized and stereotyped by the violence and crime in their communities.
This day and this celebration is bigger than any one leader.
Black people have to take a stand somewhere, and especially the men.
We as men must take control of our communities.
Stop all this killing.
1 million black men! 1 million black men! 1 million black men!
Nearly 12 hours of speeches also called attention to social and economic issues affecting black people in America. The Million Man March was the brainchild of a controversial figure, Louis Farrakhan, and some Congress members, like John Lewis, felt some of the messaging could actually resegregate America.
Our nation is in need of healing. A presidential commission is an important and needed step toward building a bridge across the racial divide.
We have conquered legal segregation, but in a real sense, the races seemed less far apart because there were black-white coalitions struggling to eradicate racism. There is no way to eradicate racism in a multiracial country except together.
The Million Man March remains one of the largest single-day protests in American history. Organizers reported that in its aftermath, 1.7 million African American men registered to vote. All right, let's get you up to date on our top story of today, the government shutdown. It is now in its third week and is the fourth longest shutdown in more than 40 years. And Americans are now feeling the effects. Federal workers are missing paychecks. Tourists are unable to visit many national parks or the Smithsonian museums. People are unable to get certain federal loans to buy homes or operate small businesses. And travelers are facing some delays at airports. All air traffic controllers are working without pay, as are some TSA agents.
Today marks the first day that air traffic controllers have a completely different focus today. Their first loss of pay. Air traffic controllers are out moving over 45,000 flights today. 3 million passengers, tons of cargo that keeps America moving. And their focus is now on when they'll receive pay again.
Meanwhile, the Pentagon is shifting nearly $8 billion from funds Congress approved for research to make sure U.S. troops get paid today, a sign the government shutdown could continue for quite some time. When you hear Girl Scouts or Scouting America, formerly known as Boy Scouts, do you think AI or cybersecurity? Me neither. Well, the organizations are making 21st century updates to their iconic sashes. Along with the classics like first aid and camping, Scouts can now earn merit badges in artificial intelligence and cybersecurity to examine the effects of AI and prepare Scouts for cybersecurity threats. The organization says this is all part of a broader effort to stay relevant in an increasingly digital world. Over the summer, they launched their own AI chatbot, Scoutly, to answer questions from Scouts. Their motto has always been, be prepared, and perhaps that now includes spotting things like poison ivy and deepfakes. Pop quiz hotshot: at which art museum can you see an original painting by Vincent van Gogh? The Acropolis Museum in Athens, the Getty in Los Angeles, the Louvre in Paris, or Perez Art Museum in Miami? If you said Getty, get yourself a high five. Perhaps the most famous painting in the Getty Museum's collection is Van Gogh's iconic Irises, painted in 1889. Think your favorite painting could survive a fire? Probably not. So, the Getty Museum and Villa House, which house some of the most important art from the 19th and 20th centuries, are designed to be fireproof. Located in Los Angeles, where wildfires and natural disasters have become a more common occurrence in the region, the Getty sits on a hill, but its real superpower isn't the view, it's fire safety. Take a look.
Around 10:30, the fire was first reported. By 12:30, it had crossed 4 miles and hit our back gate.
The Palisades fire literally surrounded the Getty Villa. Those of us who knew how the site was constructed, I'm not going to say we were cool as cucumbers, but we had a high level of confidence that we were going to make it through the fire okay.
Okay, because both the Getty Center and Getty Villa were designed with natural disasters in mind. Both museums house some of the most important pre-20th century art in the world. And they even claim to be the safest place for art during a fire.
The reality is we know where we are. Both of the areas where the Getty Center and the Getty Villa exist are prone to fire.
Les Borsay was at the Getty Villa's Emergency Operations Center during the Palisades fire.
We were surprised that it had moved that fast. The winds were insane.
The location of both Getty museums offer visitors stunning vistas. But it's those same views that put these important cultural institutions at risk during California's ever-expanding and more unpredictable wildfire season.
What that implies is that we need to be in a state of constant readiness.
And readiness starts with architectural design that prioritizes fire safety.
What people see as all this beautiful white travertine actually is designed to be a fire break. When you get off of the tram down here, you land on the arrivals plaza, which is a huge expanse. Then you have to come up this big flight of travertine stairs and cross a second plaza before you get to the entry hall of the museum.
This is a very well-built building. It is double concrete walls. You also can see that we have a really fireproof roofing with that tile roofing. It's decorative and it's really well protective.
On the inside, there are all sorts of unbelievably high-tech things going on. So in the extremely unlikely event that fire actually were to breach the perimeter and get into one of the galleries, doors would automatically shut so that the fire would be isolated within one small part of the museum itself. We have super sophisticated air handling systems that prevent any smoke or particulate matter from getting in.
Wildfire is an ever-present risk in California, but so are earthquakes.
We use all sorts of seismic mounts. You can't see that when you're looking at the works of art. The paintings are all displayed in such a way that if there's a major seismic event, they will be maximally protected.
Some of these larger pieces are not only anchored into the floor, but are anchored into a steel frame that's behind that wall right there. We're in Los Angeles. It has earthquakes. We're going to have more earthquakes. These are pieces that are 2,000 years old. We want to make sure they're here for another 2,000.
Apple CEO Tim Cook has turned into a Labubu. Labubu creator Kai-Sing Lung gifted Cook his own variation of the doll during his recent trip to Shanghai. The fluffy, sharp-toothed collectible figures have become a cultural and commercial phenomenon. They're typically sold in blind boxes that conceal the design and style of the creature inside. Pop Mart, the Chinese company behind the dolls, saw revenue surge to $1.8 billion last year and nearly 400% jump in net profits in the first half of this year. Today's story getting a 10 out of 10. Big news in Berlin. The Berlin Zoo welcoming its newest and chunkiest star, a baby hippo. Weighing in at around 61 pounds, this yet-to-be-named calf is smaller than an average newborn hippo, but don't let that fool you. He is already wading into the spotlight and hypnotizing scientists everywhere. Born September 28th to 13-year-old Nala, this little fella came into the world a twin. Sadly, only one survived, but what's still really special is that only 1% of known hippo births are twins. Also, Did you know hippos can't actually swim? Even though they spend up to 16 hours a day in the water and can go underwater, they can only walk or bounce along the riverbed. Baby hippos, or calves, nurse underwater as well by closing their nostrils and their ears. Let's get you some Friday Eve shout-outs, shall we? First one going to Mrs. McKenzie at the College Preparatory School of America in Lombard, Illinois. Thank you for all the letters and love. We see you. And Mrs. Kavanaugh at Lincoln Middle School in Lincoln, Rhode Island. Rise up. Thank you to everyone who's been subscribing to our CNN 10 YouTube channel and commenting in there for your shout-out requests. Also, thank you for all the mail we are receiving. You have to go check out our Instagram account at CNN10 to see a very daunting picture of it. Go make it an awesome day, everyone. I'll see you right back here tomorrow. I'm Coy Wire, and we are CNN 10.